It's over. Training camp is over, Roob. How you feeling?
Are you okay?
I'm okay.
Worried about you.
Training camp's just the beginning. A long season ahead of us here.
Long season, but I know this is special to you. This is the only time of year we get to watch all of practice, or even most of practice.
Yeah, and that's why I like training camp so much. It's you actually get to see what's going on, and I feel like it's one of the times of year where reporters are most valuable because everyone can watch the games. Not everyone can watch practice, so you're kind of the eyes and ears for fans out there, and I appreciate that.
So you're basically saying we're useless after today?
No, we morph into other uses.
Okay.
This is the Eagle Eye Podcast brought to you by Nissan. Reuben Frank and Dave Zangaro. Day 18 of training camp. The final training camp practice, of course, not the final practice. These guys are going to be on the field next week, but the team will look different.
Yeah, and really all the players, we'll get to the interviews we did, but I think everybody's just a little, the veterans kind of like, you make friends, you make connections. Nick's big on that, obviously, and half the team's going to be gone in a few days, and that's hard. Like veterans don't get used to that. Like you're not getting cut, but guys that you've been close to, you studied with, you've practiced with, gone out to dinner with, they're going to be gone, and that's hard for a lot of guys. And it should be.
Sure, it should be. Yeah, it's a weird business. It's we all get kind of callous to it, but then you think about the people going through it, and it's real stuff, man. Especially like getting traded is a wild concept.
Yeah,
and it happens all the time.
I was just saying, like, imagine if like half the people in our newsroom here just were gone tomorrow. Like it's just yeah, we got rid of him, and him. Well, him we probably should, but
do you think if NBC Sports Philadelphia had cuts, do you think you'd make the team?
I think I would be hoping to be on the practice squad.
All right, let's get into today's practice. 1 hour and 21 minutes. It was rainy to start the day. It wasn't a very heavy practice, no pads at all. They actually started with a walkthrough before they even stretched.
So I was wondering if you would count that as part of practice as far as the timing goes, because that really was a separate entity.
Yeah, I did, because they told us practice started at 10 and that started at 10.
Okay.
So I included it. But yeah, the actual practice time was shorter today.
And I just wonder if that would have normally been earlier, but because it was raining so much harder.
Well, they did this once before.
They did it once
They
before.
did a walkthrough in a non-padded day before practice. Yeah. So I don't think so. I think this was always the plan. The injury report. This is a long one, so
you
have to go get a snack. You have to go to the bathroom. Maybe do it now and come back.
You tell people to stop watching the pod.
No, I'm telling them this is a good time to take a break because it's a lengthy injury report. Here we go. Did not practice today. A.J. Brown, Landon Dickerson, Devontae Smith, Jordan Mailata, Andrew Makuba, Keely Ringo, Johnny Wilson, Josh Uche, Tanner McKee, Lewis Seen, and Tariq Castro-Fields.
Who are you most concerned about on that list?
Well, in which way? Because there are some guys, like the injuries are more significant, but the player, in terms of importance to the team, isn't at that level. You know what I mean? So like the Johnny Wilson injury to me is a pretty serious one. It looked like it, at least on the field. And the fact that he has a knee and ankle designation, but obviously, like, he's not as important to the team as Landon Dickerson or Jordan Mailata.
Well, I would say combine those two. And who are you most concerned about?
Good question. I think still Landon, because he's the guy of the starters who has a chance to not be ready for week 1.
Yeah, that's fair. We just don't know.
Yeah. Do you have an answer to your own question?
Just AJ, because I think he's going to play in the opener, but it's been a while.
Mm-hmm.
And he's had some injuries, and you'd like to see him healthy.
You certainly would, yeah.
So you just hope it doesn't, kind of lead to something else.
Okay. And Makuba, obviously,
or if
too.
He tries to play when he's not 100%, makes it worse.
And Makuba, too, with the hamstring.
Yeah.
Potentially really significant because it looked like he had wrapped up that job. We saw him get hurt. It was so early in Tuesday's practice that he even get team reps and he was off the field. And then he misses today. I'd assume certainly not going to play in the game on Friday. I would think Sidney Brown will be on ice for that game. They shouldn't play him.
Yeah, they have plenty of safeties that can run out there.
Mhm.
I don't think we'll see Sidney.
Yeah. So, I mean, that injury could be significant. It could be the difference between Makuba starting week 1 and not.
Absolutely. I think it will be.
Yeah. So those are the new ones. Makuba, Johnny Wilson, Josh Uche with the groin injury. Don't know much about that one. And then Keely Ringo with the quad. So we got demoted and hurt in the same day.
Yeah. And like he needs to be out there. He needs to be competing and battling and trying to do something good. Now, you don't want a guy to play hurt, but if there's any way Keely Ringo can practice, and look, it's the trainer's call ultimately, but he's not helping himself not being out there.
Yeah.
And I'm not blaming him. It's just not good timing.
True. I mean, honestly, the worst timing would have been early in camp, I guess, but I don't know. It has not been a good summer for him.
Yeah. I mean, I think if he had practiced from here up until the Friday before the opener, or the Tuesday before the opener in this case, he would have had at least some chance of winning that job. I don't think he has any now.
Okay.
I don't think he had much of a chance.
It looked really minimal before.
Did not look good
today.
Yeah.
Depth chart stuff. Jahad Campbell took all the first team reps next to Zach Bond. It's his job.
It's his job. Not surprising.
You know, when Zach Bond first came back this week from that long absence with the back contusion, it was Trot out there first. And I think they're showing deference to a guy who has been in the system for a year, who hasn't done anything wrong all summer, actually had a really good training camp, and who I think earned all the first team reps he got. But ultimately, they're better off with Jahad Campbell on the field. Yeah.
And I totally agree about Trot. I mean, I don't know if there's anything he could have done, honestly, to win that job. He had a really good camp. They're really high on him. They love everything about him. Jahad Campbell's just better. He's bigger, faster. He's better.
I'm getting ahead of myself. Is there a chance they trade Jeremiah Trotter Jr. at some point?
Yeah.
Because I think he can play in this league.
I do too.
And he's going to be buried behind Jahad Campbell and Zach Bond, maybe eventually Nakobe Dean, and Smile Mondon looks really promising as a rookie this year.
Yeah, he does.
So, and I'm not saying like a potential trade because you don't like Trot, but because it could help him out.
Yeah, and I don't know exactly what his value would be. Just he hasn't played that much.
Yeah, most of all the good we've seen is in training camp.
Right. If you could get a piece that could help, and you hate to see him go.
I don't think it would be a draft, like at least not now. It wouldn't be a draft pick. Maybe next offseason it'd be a draft pick. You have enough picks.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it would be a player. If you did it now, it would be a player that you like. But yeah, it's an interesting notion. I mean, he's out of all those guys, he's the most tradable. You're not going to trade Mondon.
I would think.
Yeah. So you're not going to trade Bond. Boy,
No.
Bobby King was raving about Nakobe today. He said, it's easy to forget about a guy just how good he is when he's not practicing and not playing. And he's like, he won us games last year. Like, we can't lose sight of just how good he was last year.
I think the next big question in Nakobe's career is, can he come back as that same player? It's such a significant injury.
Yeah. Yeah. And if he does, what's his role?
It's a question for a later date.
Yeah.
Cornerback today, Adoree Jackson opposite Quinyon Mitchell. Could Jacorian Bennett or Mac McWilliams catch up by week 1? I wouldn't completely rule it out, but with every day that passes here, it looks like it's Adoree Jackson's job, at least for week 1.
For week 1, for at least this first half of week 1. I think Jacorian Bennett just kind of ran out of time. Just got here. He's done some good things. I think he can play. I just don't think he's quite ready. And I think Mac has been really impressive, and I think he's got a future in this league. He's also not ready. Although, man, I like him. Oh, there's a lot to like about Mac. So we'll see. I don't think Adoree Jackson is going to be disastrous. And he's actually had a couple good days. I thought he had a good day of practice today. Yesterday he had a good day of practice.
Tuesday he had a good day.
He had a good day yesterday. Today, that if that was a penalty, it was probably a bad day for him on Dotson. But I think if you have 10 really, really good players on defense and a below average corner, which he is, I think you can get by. But it's going to be like hold your breath time with him.
We saw Cooper DeJean still getting reps at outside cornerback in the base package. We know he's going to be on the field in base. Do you have a sense yet of where it's going to be, whether it's at safety or outside corner?
I think it's going to be at safety.
Do you?
Yeah.
Is that so? I think right now they're in a situation where he's better off and better suited to be a safety in those, the 15% of the snaps he would be there. But what's better for the team? It might be outside corner. And I think this is what they didn't want to happen.
Yeah. No, you're right. I mean, it comes down to who would you rather have on the field? Somebody else playing slot or somebody else playing outside corner?
No. It wouldn't be either in base. So
you're talking okay,
just in those base snaps.
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know, but it'll be. I mean, he's the kind of guy that you can put him anywhere at any position in the secondary, and he's going to be good. He's that versatile and that good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it really comes down to who are your best four.
Yeah,
he's one of them, but is the other one Adoree or is it Sidney Brown? And those are not the two names I thought we'd be talking about when it comes down to your best four when we started camp.
And it's probably Sidney Brown.
I would think so.
Yeah.
Okay. Speaking of Sidney, he was first team safety again. No surprise there with Makuba injured. On offense, Kyle McCord again, the second string quarterback. That is, I think,
at least DTR gets some reps today.
He did get some reps. The threes got reps today. The receivers without A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Johnny Wilson were Jahan Dotson, Darius Cooper, and Anais Smith. And it looked like, to me, Darius Cooper was ahead of Anais Smith. When they went to 12 personnel, Cooper stayed on the field.
He's really good. I mean, we've seen receivers do this kind of thing in training camp and not carry it over to games. He's just, I don't know what else you can ask for him. He's been really good.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see him in individual make that one-hander?
Yeah, it's in my notes.
Oh, okay. I missed that part.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a great catch. It's funny. Do you have a pen?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought I heard a click. I'm just hearing it.
Hearing clicks in your head
now. Yeah. I actually went and watched the highlight video that I think Devontae Smith watched because it's the only one on YouTube that I could find. And he has a catch that looks exactly like that one-hander we made today. You did have a pen.
It was in my pocket. I wasn't even touching it.
Okay.
Now I want to drive you crazy.
Okay.
It was just he makes catches every day. He does something impressive.
I thought his most impressive catch today was the one in traffic. There were like three bodies around him, and he came back really strong on the football right in front of Quinyon Mitchell and made the grab. Yeah, it's like little savvy things he's really good at that you wouldn't expect a UDFA from an FCS program to have the wherewithal to make a play like that.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. He's polished, which I don't know how. He probably should have been at a bigger school, bigger program, watching him play. I don't know. He doesn't have like a classic build. I mean, he's like thicker, maybe. He's
like condensed, more of like a running back build.
Yeah.
I've compared him to like a mini Deebo Samuel. I forget who said it to me today. They were like kind of like a Steve Smith build, the good
Anquan
one.
Bolden's
a little taller, I think.
Maybe a little.
Yeah. But yeah, that is like more compact.
And AJ-ish.
What was that?
More AJ, a little.
Yeah. And that's why, like, I think his body will live up to the rigors of playing NFL receiver.
Well, that's like one of the most important things for these guys is staying healthy. And Reed Blankenship was actually talking about that for undrafted guys. Like the biggest thing is just being out there every day.
Think about like this training camp. Elijah Cooks, he's not undrafted, but like same idea, a guy trying to make a roster.
Yeah.
Starts off so hot, then he gets hurt, and it's like his chance just evaporates.
Yeah. Yeah, and Darius Cooper's been healthy and available every day and make plays every day.
Other notes, I thought Jalen Hurts had a great day. It was nice to see him finish off as strong as he did. I thought his best throw of today, and you can tell me if you agree or disagree, was Nolan Smith was coming as a rusher in his face, and Jalen had to like alter his arm angle, kind of sidearm through this pass to Anaya Smith to beat Cooper DeJean for a touchdown. And that was just kind of indicative of his day. Like he had some weird arm angles that he needed to have. He had the right touch on some lofted passes. Like everything he did today, he pushed the right button.
Yeah, it was fun to watch him today. It was like, all right, he's ready. And I think we've seen Jalen this year throw more passes that he wouldn't throw in a game than ever before. Like, I don't think he's ever really – like he's always been kind of a conservative practice player where, you know, he wouldn't make a throw in practice that he wouldn't make in a game. But I feel like this year it's like, all right, let's see what I can do here. Let's see if I can throw it in that window. And that's going to lead to some incompletions, maybe an interception here and there. But, yeah, today he was just on. He was great.
Yeah, he had a touchdown pass to Grant. They worked red zone a little bit. So
Calcaterra throw was a good one.
The Calcaterra was a good one. It was kind of lofted on purpose. Same with the Jahan Dotson in the back of the end zone over the zone coverage from Zach Bond, which is tough because Zach Bond is a really long linebacker. And
that was the one that got Kevin Patullo sprinting out on the field and screaming a word that I don't think we can use on the podcast.
I'd prefer if he didn't.
I won't use it, but it was followed by, yeah, he just was so fired up, which is cool to see.
He said, heck yeah?
He did.
Wow. Jeez, Kevin.
Yeah, I know.
Kids out there.
Kids around.
Yeah.
But it was just cool to see him, like, you know, he's kind of such a chill, laid back guy, and he just like sprinted out, and he actually sprinted out on the field before it was even Dotson even caught it. It was just such a perfect play, perfect read. Yeah, he was fired up. It was cool. Yeah. That might have been my favorite throw today.
Okay. Yeah, I love the weird arm angle.
Yeah.
Those are always fun for me. I wanted to circle back on the walkthrough early in practice because it was a fun thing watching the starting offensive line play the scout team roles, including Lane Johnson, 13-year vet, potential future Hall of Famer Lane Johnson out there with a red penny on over his jersey, giving looks to Darian Kennard. How cool is that?
It's really cool, and wouldn't think twice about it. It does not have a superstar mentality, doesn't look at himself like that. He's out there to do whatever he can to help the team, help his teammates, and that's what he was doing. And it just comes naturally to him.
Yeah. I thought that was a cool moment.
Yeah, I did too.
I also watched, every once in a while, I wrote this in my notes too, because every once in a while I just like to focus on one player during a rep. And Lane's one who's always fun because it's like, normally it's so fun because it's so boring. He actually had like an exciting rep today where he beats Nolan Smith on the initial pass rush, but then it's like an extended play. No one's open. Jalen's spying time, and Nolan has a counter move, and Lane spins and meets him at that spot before Nolan can get there. You know how fast Nolan is. I don't know why Lane decided the spin was his quickest route. We saw the spin from Landon Dickerson in the Super Bowl, and he said that was because he was injured and that was the best way to get there. As far as I know, Lane's not injured, but there was something that told him the spin was the quickest way from point A to point B, and he got there. So I think Nolan had to be shocked that Lane was able to spin and get to the spot before him.
Yeah, that's really cool, and that's the thing you wish everybody could see. There's no video of it, unfortunately, but yeah, he's such an athlete and so instinctive on what he needs to do on every rep. So I didn't see that rep. I didn't see him on that rep. Mm-hmm. So it's cool to see.
It ended up being just like a Jalen scramble for a yard. Mm-hmm. So it's like a play that's like a whatever, but I thought it was just so much fun to watch. Yeah. Like this is fun. So if you had to single out one player on each side, just watch for a game or a practice, who do you think would be the most fun to single out?
That's a good question. I would say, I think on offense, it would have to be a lineman. I think Lane's a good answer. Cam is one that comes to mind just because it's kind of hard to focus on the center. There's a lot of traffic around him, but Cam and Landon might be my answer. One of those two, I think, would be really fun to watch.
You said Landon or Lane, you mean?
Landon.
Oh, okay, Landon.
Well, I'm not going to say Lane because you said Lane, but just one of the interior linemen.
On defense, I think there's an easy answer.
I mean, well, who are you thinking?
Jalen Carter.
Yeah. It's a good answer.
Because he's already just so fun to watch because he plays the game differently. And then just like he's always doing something. And he has hustle plays. Like you would think a guy who plays that many snaps wouldn't hustle all the time, but he does. And he's a blast to watch.
I was going to say Jahad Campbell.
He's another one who makes sense.
Because I think he's going to be – I think he can hurt an offense in so many different ways and make plays in different ways from different places on the field. I think it's going to be fun seeing how Vic uses him. I think we've only seen the tip of the iceberg in practice. So he'd be a guy I would love to just keep an eye on for a game.
I'm glad you just brought him up because there were back-to-back plays in this practice, one from Campbell and one from Zach Bond. And it's exciting to think about those two in a defense because you're right. They can do a lot of the same things, but they can do them at different times. And like that versatility is going to be a lot of fun. So there was one play where Jahad Campbell blitzes, gets a sack. He's done that a lot. Not surprising to see anymore. On the next play, it was a swing pass to Saquon, and Zach Bond was just on it, just blew it up immediately. And it kind of, I think we talked about Jahad Campbell in a similar play yesterday, just how much ground he can cover. So the same thing with Zach Bond. Like these two can be anywhere on the football field. They're going to cover every blade of grass in the middle of that field. It's so much fun to think about.
Yeah, and Bobby King talked about that today, about how you have these two guys who have, I guess, like the Venn diagram for their skill sets is going to be pretty big. And he said, we can do the same thing with one of them and then do that with the other one the next week. And it's going to be unscouted because he didn't do it in the first week. And then, another game that the other guy might do that. And he's like, and then you multiply that by all the different things they can do. And he said, they're so interchangeable. They both do so many things so well. It just gives you so many opportunities to deploy them in different ways. Somebody asked Bobby a question. Bobby King's the linebackers coach. Somebody asked him, he's like, the question began with, the Eagles haven't had this kind of linebacker talent in like 50 years, right? Mm-hmm. and it's true. It's really incredible. And then, then you're talking about Nakobe coming back and Trott coming off the bench. He's got an embarrassment of riches there at that position.
Speaking of linebackers, Trott had a pick today.
Yes, he did.
Kind of a gift.
It was.
Kyle McCord, I guess, just didn't see Trott in coverage, threw it right at him, but Trotter made the play.
I don't know how he could have missed him. He threw
it right out. Yeah.
Yeah, there wasn't. I was just thinking, McCord's made a couple good plays today, and then, threw it right to Trott.
Anything else? Odds and ends from practice?
No, it was cool, and it was a longer practice than I expected, which was good. You don't want to come down and just have an hour. Like there was a rumor it's just gonna be an hour practice. Maybe after the walkthrough portion, it was an hour. But I thought it was a fun practice. It was good to see the offense do some things. And man, Jahan Dotson, has he dropped a pass this year?
Not that I can remember. Yeah, very smooth hands.
Yeah, he looks really good. I don't know how much he's going to play once they're at full strength. I mean, how many targets I should say he'll get, but I feel pretty good about him.
Yeah, and it's tough to really say because this is our first chance seeing him in a practice setting like this. Like we saw him a little bit in the regular season, but this is like we're getting to watch him in team drills.
Yeah,
we didn't get that at all last summer, so it's a little tough to say. But yeah, I've been really impressed by him, and I think it's been encouraging to see how much Jalen has trusted him and gone to him when those other guys have been out.
Yeah, and
I guess you don't have much of a choice, but no. he's been like handling that volume well.
Yeah, and I look back to when they were in Houston throwing together, and just how valuable that is. Just getting to know each other, getting to trust each other, understanding what Jalen, how he likes the ball, where he likes it, and That stuff is real. That really matters.
My final stupid observation of the summer.
Damn. But now your final stupid comment.
No, those will happen all season. AJ Brown, when he doesn't practice, comes out to practice with his jersey, but then he just tucks it in the back of his sweatpants and like lets it hang like a towel. And I don't know why.
I'm sure you'll ask him.
At some point in passing, I would like to ask.
Did you see an individual? So he and a coach take turns throwing.
Yeah.
Well, he threw one. So it was just the receiver just running straight at whoever's throwing the ball. And they're kind of in sequence. It's going quickly. Well, AJ missed time to throw. So Darius Cooper's running to catch a pass from the other guy. And AJ, like from like 8 yards away, 6 yards away, fires it. And Darius Cooper just catches it. Like, it wasn't even for him, but it was pretty cool. And just kind of got a taste of what Darius Cooper can do.
That's funny. AJ has a great arm, but sometimes not the best throwing the football in those drills.
Yeah.
There have been some wasted reps with him missing practice.
He was pretty good today. He clearly loves it, and he just wants to be out there doing something. So,
yeah. Devontae Smith had one pretty bad underthrow.
Okay.
They'll stick to their day jobs, I think.
Yeah, probably.
All right. Thanks for reading observations and going through them all summer. We will take a break, and when we come back, Ruby had a fun list about the best pleasant surprises and disappointments of training camp. We'll go through that.
You deserve a car that thrills you, a car that puts goosebumps on your goosebumps. At Nissan, we've got everything from turbocharged SUVs to 100% electric vehicles that'll make your heart beat faster. Experience the thrill for yourself and shop your local Nissan store and nissanusa.com today. One
of the benefits of being at practice every day in a training camp is you get the full picture. And it's, sometimes like it's got to be tough for a national reporter who like pops in for 2 days. They might have a completely different view of the team than someone who watches them every day. So that's the benefit we have of being out there. So you come up with your list of the biggest surprises, like pleasant surprises and disappointments of the summer. And I thought it was a good list.
So let's go through that. How do you want to do it? You want to go through all the disappointments first? Go back and forth? What's your...
I don't know. Do you want to be negative first or you want to be positive first?
Let's be negative first.
Negative first. I like it. All right. Go with the biggest disappointments in training camp.
Yeah, to me, number one is Keely Ringo. I think we both felt really good about him coming in.
Yeah, he was our guy. We picked to win that job.
Yeah. And I there's a reason for it. I mean, he's got traits, he's got size, he's fast. Year 3, he had done some good things when he did play. It just seemed like, all right, he's ready to make that next step, and it just never happened for him. Never happened.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely he's got to be disappointed. I think the team is disappointed. They start these competitions and they're going to play whoever wins it. Like, they're not going to play favorites in that way. But you got to think they were hoping this young kid with all these intangibles and a guy they drafted, a guy they didn't just draft, but they were super excited to draft, traded up into that 4th round, gave up a future 3 to take him. They've had him on ice for 2 years, and this was his moment. To see him not take control of that job is by definition disappointing.
What do you think happened?
I wonder if it snowballed a little bit. Confidence is such a big deal with every position, but especially cornerbacks. Yeah. Like, you have to be confident, and maybe he just lost it and couldn't regain it. But the crazy thing is, like, there would be moments where he would make plays, and with cornerbacks, you watch the celebrations. You want to see them like signal incomplete and have a little swagger. And I saw that from him at times. So like, when you see something like this, your initial thought is it has to be his confidence is shot. And that's where things started to snowball. I don't know if that's the case.
Yeah, I think that's a good guess. And I asked him about that after the Bengals game. And he's like, no, you can't be a cornerback and lose your confidence. You got to have next play mentality and move on. It's over with. There's nothing you can do. he said all the right things, but something just, different guys respond differently to competition, and maybe he just didn't have the, I don't know, mental toughness to compete with Adoree'. I don't know. I mean, I'm grasping at straws because he should have done better.
And it's really the inconsistencies.
Yeah.
Like if they were, and I think like even right now, they could start Kelee Ringo and he'd make some plays.
Yeah.
But I think he'd give up a lot.
Yeah.
And you just can't have that level of inconsistency.
Yeah. So he's number one. Number two, and it's kind of an obvious one, Kenyon Green, just because the guy was a first-round pick. I think after the Becton thing, you kind of hoped maybe he'd follow that playbook a little bit, although Becton was better even when he was bad than Kenyon Green ever was with the Texans. But, I mean, he was just hurt. He was just never a factor, just never competed for anything. And when Landon gets hurt and you have a first-round guard, I guess he was hurt by then, but he just never competed for
a couple of different. He started camp with an injury, and then he suffered another one when he did come back.
I mean,
and he had worked his way up, and by the end of this camp, he worked his way back up to second team left guard.
Yeah, but then you have Tyler Steen at right guard, and he never even was in the mix for that. Never took reps there, so just disappointing.
Yeah.
Number three is that Azeez Ojulari. I expected more from him. I think Uche gapped him. I don't think Uche was great, but I think he was better than Azeez. The thing with Azeez is like you keep thinking if he can stay healthy, because the production's been there. He just has missed so many games. I think he's only played 42 games in 4 years. But he stayed healthy. We just didn't see the production.
Yeah, he ended up, like, I think towards the second half of camp, started to make some more plays, started to pop a little bit more. Because early on, the first half of training camp, like I don't think I wrote 13 down in my notes at all, just like zero disruption. But he did start to make some plays. He had a good joint practice against the Browns, had a moment in the game, beat Cornelius Lucas in the game. And he's an NFL player, has played tackle in this league for like 6 years or something. So like beat a legitimate tackle in the game. So I think there have been bright spots, but yeah, overall, a quiet summer.
Number four, obvious one also, Dorian Thompson-Robinson. Maybe it's unfair to have big expectations considering he did not play well with the Browns the 2 years he was there. 1 touchdown, 10 interceptions. But you kind of hope that he gets here with these coaches and a new system, and just getting out of Cleveland can't hurt. And he was ahead of McCord for a bit there.
I'll be honest. I thought he was better this summer than I expected.
For a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I agree. But then he just snowballed and just.
Yeah. I mean, everyone saw the game.
Yeah. And really, even in the first game, he wasn't that. He had the one completion, I think, to Taylor Moore in 26 yards or 24 yards. But the last 2 weeks, week and a half, he's been bad. Really bad. He's not going to make the team.
No.
And I don't even know, is he a guy? Is he still a young guy? Do you want to keep him on the practice squad and develop him?
I think you look around.
Look around, maybe find a quarterback somewhere. Yeah. And then the other one I added on here was the rookie edge rusher from Virginia Tech, Antoine Powell-Ryland. Just never saw it. And he's a late round pick, and I didn't expect huge production. He did beat the Division 1A BCS. I just don't know. I'm like Vic. It's like NC2A. He led all of college football in sacks and tackles for loss over the last 2 years. So you expect to see some signs, but I didn't see anything from him. I don't know if you did.
I saw one-on-one rep that he won against Cameron Williams.
Okay. So there's that.
I'm serious. Like there was one day where I was like, oh, there's a nice play from him. And I think it was the only time I wrote 52 in my notebook all training camp.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a shame. I thought maybe there was a chance he'd show something. And man, it was quiet.
Yeah. I would think they would keep him on the practice squad just because
you've already invested the pick. It can't hurt.
Yeah. And I don't think they probably didn't expect a whole lot from him either. So can't hurt to keep him around, develop him if you can. You want to go to the positives?
Yeah, unless you just want to go all negative. You have 5 more negative to go.
It's not really, I don't know. There's not a whole lot of them.
Yeah,
which
you're
is which is good.
Yeah.
My biggest surprise is your right guard, Tyler Steen. I thought he'd win that job, but I thought he'd be challenged. Oh, I thought Matt Pryor would win the job.
Okay.
Yeah, I did say that. I thought Steen would be challenged, and I thought other guys would come in there, and like even when it was apparent that he was getting all the reps, like a few days in, he wasn't rotating with anyone. I still was thinking at some point they're gonna try anyone else. He's just been, I give him credit. He's just been really good, and he's earned it. And he took every single first team rep.
I think he's gotten better too, because early in camp there were, when Moro Ojima really started to churn, and you're like, oh no, is this because Tyler Steen's out there? But eventually Mo started to beat Dickerson as well. And that's almost like a sigh of relief.
Yeah.
Because it's not just all against Steen. And then I think Steen settled in and found that consistency a little bit better.
Yeah. And they gave him the opportunity to do that. And we'll see. He's still got to do it in games, but he's been really good. Good for him. Number 2 is Jihad. And the first surprise is that he was out there at the start of camp with the shoulder, which we did not expect. Vic had told us sometime in August. It was sometime in July. But then you start to see just what he's capable of. And I thought he'd be good just based on, we know how high they were on him. And I mean, just the tools he had. But yeah, you worry about the shoulder. You worry about the Eagles linebacker jinx. He's been better than I dreamed. He's been really good.
It's funny. Like there are some guys on a football field that just have an alpha personality aura about them. He has that.
Yeah.
And maybe it's because he's just been that guy at every level he's ever played at. But some guys have been that and they don't carry it over to the NFL. Feels like that has carried over for sure.
Yeah, when you're characterizing your conversation with Myles Garrett with one freak talking to another freak.
Yeah.
You love that confidence. You love that.
You mean
swagger.
that Hall of Fame edge rusher, maybe the best defensive player in football?
Yeah, and a guy who's never played a regular season game.
Yeah.
So he's, in a way, putting himself on that level and or at least his potential, which, look, he's never going to have 100 sacks, but yeah, he's going to be fun to watch. Should we go on?
Yes.
I have Darius Cooper next. We talked a lot about him, and we have. The thing that blows my mind is, we talked about how comfortable he looks and how he came in, he mastered the playbook. But this is a guy who played small-time Division I AA football, FCS, at Tarleton State, which I don't think I'd ever heard of that school before him. So it's hard enough for any rookie to shine as a wide receiver. It's harder for an undrafted guy, but an undrafted guy from FCS school, it's really, that just doesn't happen. I looked up the last wide receiver who caught a pass as a rookie, as an undrafted rookie for the Eagles from a 1AA or FCS school. It was Hank Baskett.
Okay.
Yeah. So
where'd he go?
New Mexico State.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought Nick Sirianni's answer about Cooper was illuminating today. He said, he was asked, when did Cooper really get on your radar for real? And he said, of course, the splash plays are what gets him on your radar, but then you want to see the consistency. You want to see him doing things day in and day out that tell you he can be on the team, and he did that. But I think that makes a lot of sense. Of course, the splash play, without the splash plays, you don't catch the eye of everyone, but it's not enough to have that. There are a bunch of guys who make splash plays,
right?
And it's a one-off or here and there, but that fades pretty quickly. That's like fool's gold. We've seen, how many receivers have we seen make a spectacular catch in training camp?
1, 2. Is that you want me to count?
I would prefer if you didn't.
5, 6. Okay.
You're gonna not be able to count that high pretty soon.
Yeah. I mean, he's just handled the day-to-day grind beautifully.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Number 4 is that smile Mondon.
I like the look in your eyes when you realize that you're driving and I'm not. And
Well, I
you
was
go,
waiting
oh,
for
wait.
you to. I was waiting for you to contribute something to the pot. Number
Yeah,
4.
I think we need to talk more about Darius Cooper today.
Smile Mondon, the linebacker, 5th round pick. Yeah, he's been a really pleasant surprise. He looks like a player, and I think you made a comment a couple of days ago that, like, in a normal year with normal Eagles linebackers, Jamar Chaney's and Moses Foku's, I mean, he'd be a starter, but he's buried on the depth chart behind some really good players. But he showed me a lot.
I mean, even if they hadn't drafted Jahad Campbell, we'd be talking about Smile Mondon every day.
Yeah,
Kid was getting first team reps not that long ago, ahead of Jahad Campbell.
Right.
His college experience shows up.
Yeah, it's that Georgia thing, and
he's obviously not as physically gifted in terms of like the length, especially, but the body type that Campbell has, he's athletic for sure. So I think there are some limitations when you look at him versus Campbell, but he's someone I think can play.
I do too, and I think he's going to be a great special teamer right off the bat.
There are some years where we'd be talking about Lance Dixon every day.
No,
he's been solid.
Yeah, he's been good.
The UDFA from Toledo.
Yeah, he is from Toledo. You ever been to Toledo?
No.
Number 5 is Kylan Granson, who I don't know if they're going to keep that 3rd tight end, but I think if they didn't like him, they wouldn't trade Harrison Bryant. I think about 2 weeks ago, Granson just started catching everything and just started looking more comfortable, and wasn't a big volume guy with the Colts 4 years, but he's had a good camp, especially the last couple of weeks.
I agree with that. He'd probably be the guy if they keep 3 tight ends. I think EJ Jenkins has the potential as well.
Do you know have you noticed how big he is?
EJ Jenkins? Yeah. And it's like in stark contrast to Kylan Grant,
sure,
who's undersized and more of like a move tight end. You're not going to put him on the line of scrimmage. So it's very stark contrast. And it makes me wonder, if they keep a 3rd, what do they want?
Right. I mean, Jenkins is massive. He had that one bad day, that one bad stretch, but he's caught the ball okay. Mm-hmm. Other than that, I think he had a nice catch today, right? Left corner of the end zone, or inside the 5 maybe. But I do think Granson is the next guy, and we'll see what they do roster wise.
Do you think he'd be up for sticking around on the practice squad? Sometimes that's the thing with a veteran, is like they might not want to stick on the squad.
The money's so good on a practice squad now. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's changed things. I mean, obviously it's more if you're on a 53. Obviously if he gets cut and claimed, that's one thing. He doesn't have any say in that. But once rosters are set, if you're on a practice squad, you're a free agent. You can sign anywhere. I would think he'd probably take a spot on a 53 over being here. But there have been guys who just want to be here.
Mm-hmm.
And he's made some money. He's been on a ride. He got 4 years of pension credit, so he's a vested veteran. So, yeah. So that's my 5 biggest surprises and disappointments.
I think it's a good list.
Anybody you'd want to add to either list?
Oh, good question.
Like Mac McWilliams was originally on my
surprises. I think that's a good one. I think Moro Ojima, maybe, even though like we've had high expectations for him, to see him, just take that next step this year has been really encouraging. He's one of the stars of training camp.
I agree.
And I don't know if anyone expected that level from him.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true. Reed Blankenship was talking about him today. Somebody said, you're a safety, but has Moro made any? He's like, oh my God. Yeah. He's like, he's a beast. Can't wait to see him play.
Yeah. All right, let's take a break, and we have questions coming up when we return. Eagles fans, be a part of the Birds Takeover in Kansas City with NBC Sports Philadelphia and Philly Sports Trips. Includes optional airfare, hotel, an exclusive pep rally, all-inclusive tailgate, ticket to the game, and more. Book your Eagles ultimate fan experience today. All right, you want to pop into some questions here?
Let's do it.
Eagle Eye at NBC Uni. That's NBCUNI.com. QR code on the screen. First one from Natasha. Hello, gentlemen. I've been listening to your show, Auto Downloader, for several years, but a lifelong Eagles fan as I grew up in Bucks County, PA. I heard a comment about your father who worked on the rubber band things that caught airplanes on an aircraft carrier. I've been in the Navy 13 years, and my first ship was an aircraft carrier. Felt compelled to share with you that those individuals are called aviation boatswain mate equipment, called ABEs or gear cats, because they work on the arresting gear, aka rubber bands. I don't have anything football/Eagles related at this time, but maybe since I've broken the ice, I will write back with some of those. So thank you, Natasha.
Eagles had a player named Harry Boatswain.
Did they?
Yeah. Offensive lineman. 5th round pick of the 49ers out of New Haven. Was with the 49ers for 3 years in the early 90s and started 7 games at right guard in 95. Harry Boatswain. Nicknamed Tugboat.
It's a great nickname.
Tugboat.
Yeah. Colin. Hi, Dave and Roob. Big fan of the pod. Been listening to it for years and very much appreciative of the work you both do covering the team that I and so many other people love. My question is for both of you. I will be going to the Eagles versus Tampa Bay game in week 4. Any tips for restaurant recommendations in the Tampa area?
I mean, you got to go with Frenchie's, right?
Yeah, a few different locations of Frenchie's, but yeah, I love the one right on the beach there.
Yeah.
If it's a nice day, go sit out there, watch. That's a Sunday game, so you can go out and watch college football, have a grouper sandwich, and have an adult beverage out there. It's a nice afternoon.
Yeah. There's I think 3 or 4 of them. They're all in Clearwater Beach, I think. The one on the beach it's beautiful. You might have to wait a little while for a table, but it's worth it.
Yeah, if you're a single person, like one person, you can like slide into a bar seat. I've been able to do that before down there.
Yeah. Get the blackened grouper burger.
That's my favorite.
Yeah.
Grouper's great.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
All right, next one is from Eagle Fan 56. Hey guys, really enjoy all your pods. My question is about Jordan Davis. At the start of camp, it was reported he looked good and lost weight. However, I've heard very little about him in camp. Is he having a good camp, and do you think he will be able to play more snaps this year?
Yeah, it's funny. He looks great, and he's had a good camp. He was running out to practice, and he started dancing. Did you see him before practice?
Yeah, I did,
dancing. Yeah. Like, it wasn't one of the real hot days. It wasn't hot at all, but this is day 18 of practice.
Mm-hmm.
And he's out there with all that energy, and I think he's been really good, and I do expect to see him. He's going to have to play more snaps than he did last year, but I think it'll be significantly more.
I asked him about a week ago, because we had talked to him early in the summer about the weight loss. I wanted to give it some time and ask him, like, have you seen the effects of it? I think I might have said this on a previous pod. After 18 pods, they start to run together a little bit. But and he said, yeah, like it really helped, especially against the Browns, because they were kind of running no huddle. They were going quick. So he had to really test himself like it was a game. And he said he felt really good, and he could feel the difference with the weight loss and the better conditioning. And I think that's the key for him. I still don't know how much he's going to play on third downs, because I still don't think he's their best option on third downs. I still think you're better off with Jalen Carter and Morrow, but some third downs and just more snaps in general.
Yeah, and, if there's third downs that are ambiguous, run pass, could see him there where maybe last year you wouldn't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that. Okay, next one is from Jim. Hello, Reuben, Dave. I appreciate the way you guys do your analysis without a sense of ego. You give analysis that doesn't have a sense of, quote, being right. I think the waivers work in that teams from the bottom up will put in claims at some trigger event, but how exactly does that work? The teams make a yes/no decision in order, or is there a time slot and then a team will put in the claim and it goes to the ranked team, however that works? And if a player's on a practice squad, are they on the market at any time for another team to go in there and grab them? So the first, we'll start with your second part there. Practice squad, those guys are basically like free agents. Anyone can sign them to a 53.
Yeah, but the player doesn't have to. Like, they can stay. Yeah. They can stay on the practice squad here if they want. And some guys have. Like, you might have a better chance to play as a call up, or maybe later in the season get on the 53. It's a place people want to be. So once the waiver claim period is over, teams can get anyone they can put a claim in for anybody, but once that's all over, then these guys are free agents and they have to agree to a contract. And that's true with the Eagles too. Like if the Eagles have a guy in the practice squad, like you don't just say, all right, you're on the 53. I mean, they have to agree to a contract too. But
Yeah,
it's not a problem because these guys all want to be on the roster.
and it's normally minimum deals.
Yes.
So and another side of this is like a lot of times if a team comes calling about a player, the agent will know and they'll tell. So say if the Eagles have, who's a good example, like pick a
Say
like
Nye Smith.
Yeah, all right. Say Nia Smith is on the practice squad, and the Colts call and they say, "Hey, we want to sign Nia Smith to the 53." His agent could then go to the Eagles and say, "Hey, the Colts want to sign him. Any chance you guys would be willing to sign him so that we don't have to leave?" And that happens too.
It does.
And as far as the waiver claim, yeah. So right now it is in order of the finish last year. So the Eagles have dead last in the waiver claim priority. So if there's a guy they think is good, like I think they're a good candidate to make a trade if there's a player who might get cut, but they want to jump the line because they think he won't get to them. I think they're a good candidate for that this year. But yeah, so they're last until I think it's after week 3, it flips. And it's no longer last year's record. It becomes the current season's record.
Exactly. So the only way they would be awarded a player on a waiver claim is if all 31 other teams don't put in a waiver claim on that player.
Yeah. Which is possible.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It happens. Fewer players get claimed than I think people anticipate.
The Henry Josie rule.
Yeah. It's very rare.
He's going to clear waivers.
Yeah. And look, some guys do get claimed. But then again, there's like, it's more likely a guy gets claimed after that initial cut down. When everyone gets cut, there are like hundreds of names out there and available, and you can kind of get some guys through with the flood. You wait a week and you cut a guy, all eyes are on that player. Think about Patrick Johnson after week 1.
Yeah.
I don't know if Patrick Johnson gets claimed at the initial cut.
Interesting.
But once you get past that, then I think it's harder to sneak guys through.
Yeah.
And there's also like the idea that, well, he already made a team. He must be good.
And the flip side of that is if you do claim a guy, you have to cut someone who's been in your camp all summer that you liked enough to put on your 53. So it's a complicated deal.
Sure. Next one from Matt. Hey, Dave and Roob, big fan of the show. I watch or listen to every pod on Spotify or YouTube or both.
Ooh.
Other than cornerback, safety, linebacker, and tight end, are there any positions that may be flying under the radar that could be either the reason for the Birds' success or failure this season? Maybe D-line concerns or O-line concerns with how well the Browns tore them up at practice. Keep up the great coverage.
Well, they certainly can't afford any O-line injuries. I mean, the depth at O-line is not, I mean, beyond the top 5 is not great.
No.
So I think that's kind of an underrated. And like, who said, I think it was Petullo the other day, said, Stout's going to have everyone prepared. But even Stout can't, he's not a magician.
And we've seen years where injuries on the O-line do tank the team.
Yeah. And it's, sometimes you get injuries, a bunch of injuries at the same position. It always seems to happen. So they certainly can't afford that.
And I think edge depth is something I have my eye on. You feel really good about Nolan Smith and Jalen Hunt. I think both of us are very bullish on them, but there is also a layer of projection on both of those players.
Sure.
Still. So even if you feel great about them, there's the projection there, and like the guys behind them haven't been great. I think Uche's done some nice things. Ojulari's had a few plays here or there. Yeah, I think that's a spot where you're a little worried about the depth.
Yeah.
Okay. Want to do one more?
Yeah.
We'll finish up with Kurt. What do you think about Vic putting the best players on the field as Blankenship and Makuba at safety, Cooper and Quinion Mitchell at corner, and Sidney at nickel when they have 5 DBs on the field? So this would basically be a move of Sidney Brown to the nickel and Cooper DeJean to outside corner.
Yeah, I think you're weakening 2 positions.
At least one.
At least one. Yeah. I don't like it. Yeah.
And it's I don't like it. He said that like a toddler who had tried broccoli for the first time. I don't like it.
Good analogy.
Yeah, Sidney Brown played a little bit of nickel his rookie year, not under Vic Fangio.
Yeah.
Has not played nickel
I don't think that would be a strength.
all training camp.
Yeah.
I think maybe he could play down there against some bigger tight ends.
Maybe.
And I think there's a role maybe down the line for him playing closer to the line of scrimmage, but I don't think it's now.
Yeah.
All right. If you have a question for us, eagleeye at nbcuni.com. QR code on the screen for another second. If you want to pause it on YouTube and click it, go ahead and do that. This is where I tell everyone, if you enjoy the Eagle Eye podcast, please rate and subscribe wherever you get your pods. If you're watching on YouTube, click the like button and subscribe there as well. Leave us a 5-star review if you really liked and appreciated the pods every single day of Eagles practice all summer. Roob.
Yes.
Any final thoughts?
We met a lot of Eagles fans, a lot of Eagle Eye fans at practice over the last month. I just want to say thank you got some great feedback, and it was great meeting everybody. And yeah,
that's true. I met another listener today. Very cool to hear from everyone when they're out there. We always appreciate that.
Definitely.
It is cool. It's people get to know us a little bit better on this podcast because we blabber on for an hour at a time.
Yeah, but it's like, when you do this, like you forget there's actually people who listen. We're just in this little room talking about the Eagles, but it just means the world to us that everyone appreciates what we do.
Absolutely. All right. For Reuben Frank, I'm Dave Zangaro. This has been Eagle Eye presented by Nissan. We'll talk to you soon.